Hey, everybody, Michelle is here. I just finished soaking in the tub and boy, do I feel relaxed. It feels good. That's something I love to do is kind of soak in the tub. Um, and I do everything I can to make everything as a meditation, just to, keep everything flowing properly, you know, my energy flowing, my blood flowing, my thoughts flowing, my creativity, all that has to keep continuously going, in my opinion, to keep you elevating your consciousness and just, rising above, uh, some of the devastation things going on. Because, um, say, for example, you don't have, say, for example, there was a region of people that got wiped off the map, right? And they lived in such a remote area that most people didn't even know they were even there. Can you imagine something like that ever happening? You know, all their communication is out, everything's gone. Or what if a small country out in the ocean somewhere, Pacific or Atlantic, and they were to sink and completely disappear? Or a volcano erupts and just completely, saturate a little village and they all disappear. Those kind of things are something that we all should think about for entertainment purposes only when you're writing a plot for a movie. Oh, okay. But we really should think about those type of things and know that that certain things like that can happen, and we would not have no clue of it all because who would know? Because, despite what anybody tells us, this is a huge planet. And then think about 10 billion people on it. I think that's more insane to me than anything, you know. And not to mention, what's going on with Mars and the moon, you know. Hopefully that shit comes to light as well as to what's really going on up there. And keep in mind as well, I told you about um, storage banks or planetary banks where everybody's thoughts and everything about the whole planet and everything else is stored on this planet. And if you die on this planet, you reincarnate back on this planet. Okay? Whatever planet you die on, that's the planet you reincarnate on. So if you die on Mars, guess what? If you die on the moon, guess what? So imagine being you die on Mars and you reincarnate on Mars and nothing's there. You're gonna keep recycling and recycling and recycling yourself. Can you imagine? So there's a lot of things that we just don't know, and I like that myself because that's part of learning. But there's a lot of things that we're tinkering with and interfering with, and that's what's going to lead to our destruction. In my opinion, what's going to happen is just going to start in places where nobody even know people exist, or nobody even visit these people at all, or these people don't even want to be bothered by other human beings. And before you know it, they're wiped off the map, and nobody ever knew they existed. When you talk about 10 billion people, you know what I mean? That's possible. That's quite possible. And who accepts the possibility that some people even live in the center of the planet? That's a possibility as well. That people do live in the center or in the core of the planet. And what keeps us on the planet is the magnetic field. So it's just a lot of things we just don't know. And we all have to, and you have to make mistakes in coming to the truth. You have to, and nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to be just right. Nobody wants to be wrong. No one wants to be embarrassed. I don't know why you would be embarrassed, but I mean, that's just where we are. Um, But you do have to make some mistakes in discovering what's really going on. And we all do. I make mistakes a lot. But I love that it doesn't bother me. I mean, I can care less what people think. Because people are gonna have a problem with everything you do anyway. So, but you have to make mistakes. And you do have to have experiences. You're not gonna get through all of this without some experiences. I don't care how intellectual you are. And a lot of people just attempt to do that. They don't want to get their hands dirty. Or walk the streets and try to, hustle. Like I said in our black culture, hustle. There's nothing glamorous about hustling. It's like you're always in a grind. It's a grind. It's stressful. You're trying to get from A to B, and usually people have to walk, ride their bicycles. Because or take the public transportation. So, and that builds you into a genuine humane human being. When you have to hustle, and grind, and then you make it home. Because that's why I was so impressed when I went to Jamaica that year. And those people, I mean, they would be from dusk to dawn, and then they still had enough energy. Because I was exhausted when I was there for I think like 10 days with my friend, because she was building a house for her mom, because they all wanted to go back there, which I don't blame them. When I was there, I said I would live here too. Um, but from dusk to dawn, they were, and then I don't know how they were all shoved onto these buses. I don't know what they were called. They're called something, but you have like felt like 100 people on that bus, and nobody was complaining. And when I got back to my hotel, I was exhausted. I was exhausted. And then when I finally made it back to uh, America, I think I needed another week of vacation to get over that. I mean, that was an amazing experience, though. That was really an amazing experience. And 'cause we was in the city of Negril, and then of course the tourist areas. But she would not take me to Kingston. She said, "No, you ain't going to Kingston." Okay, I didn't go to Kingston. So, but anyway, so I'm feeling good. Like I said, I soaked in the tub because I was having some issues with my back, which happens every now and then. That's why I have to keep stretching and keeping myself flexible. Uh, but other than that, everything's fantastic and wonderful, and I hope the same for everybody else. Um, it's just we just need to understand there are certain things going on around the planet that nobody has a clue about, none whatsoever. And all I'm doing is sensing stuff, and I read stuff, and I put two and two together and say, "Oh my gosh, these people can be wiped out, and nobody will have a goddamn clue about it at all. This particular island can sink, and nobody would even know it existed." You understand me? Because that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So anyway, I want to send peace and love to everyone all over the planet. Make sure you love yourself, and understand who you are, what you are, and why you are. That's almost crucial. And if you don't know, you won't know. And you can't be upset with other people about that when it's your responsibility to know who the hell you are. Don't get mad at other people when they know who they are and they're very confident in who they are. And don't be jealous and envy of that, because you have the same chances as well to do so. So you can sit around all you want and complain and be mad at other people, but it's gonna all fall back on you at some point. So just keep that in mind. All right, so, or something to consider, maybe, possibility. So anyway, I'm gonna send peace and love. Chances are I might be back later. Who knows? But anyway, be safe, everyone.